Hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Hana the Suburban Witch, and today I'm going to be talking you through how to do a full moon ritual. I forgot to turn my light on. Alright, so firstly, let's just touch base on what a ritual is. A ritual is basically something that you do more than once. You do it consistently. So to have a full moon ritual, you need to do it and then do it again. It's pretty simple, really. When we're talking about witchcraft, though, it is implied that it is a witchy ritual, a magical ritual, a spiritual ritual, something that provides deeper spiritual meaning. Now, I cannot profess to tell you all the different ways you could do a full moon ritual. The possibilities and the creativity you could bring to this are literally endless. But I can tell you what I do, what I like to do, and what I see people doing, and we can just take it from there. If you're like me and you consistently forget the full moon or forget to do stuff like this, it's good to keep it simple. I like to keep it simple because otherwise it gets to midnight and you're like, oh shit, I should go to bed. Oh shit, it's the full moon. Oh no. And like you need something you can do pretty quickly. So that's how I approach a lot of my witchcraft. It's quick, it's easy, but it still means enough to me to be spiritually rewarding. So the moon goes full approximately every 28.5 days. Generally, it is in a different zodiac sign every month, but not always. Sometimes it will just fall in if it comes in at the very early degrees of a zodiac sign. The next full moon could be the very end degrees of that zodiac sign. It does happen. But the full moon does always fall in the opposing zodiac sign to the sun. They are forming an opposition in astrology. So if it is a sun in Leo, if we're in Leo season, the full moon will be in Aquarius. If it is a sun in Virgo season, the full moon will be in Pisces. They just do this little dance around the zodiac wheel. If you're not sure where it is, when it's going to be happening, any of that jazz, I do have a blog post. It's a permanent fixture on my website, and it is all the full moons for the year ahead. So the 2025 one is out at the moment. You can look it up and see all the rest of the full moons for the rest of the year, what date and time they're going to be. In Australian Eastern Standard Zone, you just switch it over to your own time zone. And it's going to tell you what zodiac sign it's in, and it's going to tell you what the energy vibe will be feeling like. A very useful resource. And there'll be a 2026 one that I release at the end of December as well. One of the things I like to do with a full moon ritual is just the simple act of acknowledging the moon and that you see it is full. This can be as simple as going outside, looking up at her beautiful glory and just being like, oh, far out, the moon is so beautiful, right? That in itself can be a very, very simple ritual. I do like to get the full moon light on me if I can. It's not always possible if it is cloudy. The second thing I like to do is take a moment to be grateful. So I'll do a little gratitude ritual. I usually try to find 5 things that I'm feeling grateful for that month, that day, that week. And pro tip, if you know where the moon is in the zodiac and where that zodiac falls in your birth chart, you can find things that you're grateful for around the themes in your birth chart for that sign. What do I mean by this? If it is a full moon in Scorpio, for example, for me, Scorpio rules my 10th house of career. So I might say, I am so thankful for my business. I am so thankful for my paying clients. I am so thankful for all the ideas I get about products and services and classes to make, right? That could be what my gratitude ritual revolves around. So it can give you a little bit of a theme. You don't need to do that, but I find it, as an astrologer, a really lovely way to pair my full moon ritual with my astrology birth chart. Then I like to do so I've done my gratitude. I like to do a releasing ritual. Now, this is controversial only because I've seen many witches who are generally not astrologers as well say that this is the wrong energy for a releasing type of thing. I disagree. The full moon, we've got new moon, build up to the full moon, and then it's like popping a pimple. It's like, and it releases its energy, and then it gets smaller down to the dark moon and then new moon again, right? So we've got that waxing, that growing phase up to the full moon. That is the pivotal top point, and then it comes down from there. So it's a really great time to let go and release. If you're wanting to do a banishing ritual though, like actually banishing things, the dark moon is better for that. So the full moon can be used for letting go, releasing. So this might be, I forgive myself for this. I let go of that person. I let go of that thing that was said to me. I let go of that belief about myself. Whatever it is. Just pick a couple things. It can be very powerful. And doing this once a month, it's not like you're having to come up with lots of different things all of the time. It's just a really great little spiritual check-in point as well. The full moon is also really good for like power up, level up style magic. So if you've been wanting to do a certain spell for a while, it's a great time to do it. I will caveat this with, depending on how you feel. I track the full moon and my emotions and my family's emotions. So what I will do is I have a little note in my book of shadows, and it's like full moon in Aries, in Taurus, in Gemini, in Cancer. And whenever it comes up, I go to my diary and I go, I feel amazing. This full moon feels fantastic for me. Great energy. Then I will plan like big spells for those full moons whenever it's in that sign. There are other ones where I'm like, I just want to sleep. All I want to do is sleep. I'm so tired. I am just drained. This full moon is exhausting. I'm not doing spells on those ones. I know that whenever the moon is full in Virgo, my kids are going to be a little nuts. They're going to be emotional, highly charged, all of that. Not a good time for me to plan anything really. So it's really good to keep track of how you individually and or your family or children feel under specific full moons, to then forward plan witchy endeavors. The next thing I do is I make full moon water. This is probably the crux of my full moon ritual, to be perfectly honest. I make sure to do this every month. In the odd chance that I forget or I'm away around the full moon, I notice it very quickly because I run out of water. So I actually have 3 bottles, I just grabbed 2, that I fill up. I make sure that they are glass. That is my personal preference. Some people prefer a silver bowl or chalice or something like that. I like glass, and the reason is, what I do is I fill it with filtered tap water. I have a cap on it because I do use these waters in my drinking water sometimes, depending on the moon and intention. And I hold this beautiful glass vessel up. I go outside and I look through the glass at the moon so that I can see the moon through the water. And then I will say something like, Mother Moon, Goddess of the Night, bless this water with your light. I hold it there for a few moments and then I place it on the ground, preferably on the grass. Then I do the same with this one and the same with the next one. So each of them have been blessed. That is what moon water is. It is blessed water under the light of the moon. Now, if I can't see the moon, if I can't find the moon, if it is hidden behind clouds, I will just do it in the general direction and hope that the clouds part and it sees my glassware. It's fine. I'm not too pedantic about it. It'll do its thing. And then I use these waters for different things. Generally for offerings, for my ancestor altar, my deity altar, that kind of a thing. I also use it to water my plants that live in my spiritual witchy space here. And I will sometimes add it to my coffee, my tea, my drinking water for a little spiritual magical boost. Every now and then I will also use it to I'll show you. For example, if I have a little candle that I want to dress, and sometimes I don't want to use oils. Sometimes an oil that I have won't work with it, or I don't want to use it neat, or don't want to get my hands sticky, whatever. I might just put some moon water on my candle, and then a couple of little herbs that I want to add on will still stick to it because it's wet, and then you just burn it. These ones are chime candles. They're very quick burning, so it's fine. Now, the other thing I do is certain moons will have certain good vibes built in with them. This one was a Taurus full moon lunar eclipse water that I kept. I've named it Wealth Water. I've put dollar signs on there, a little quartz crystal to amplify that, and I use this in any prosperity, abundance, and wealth magic. Some people say not to use eclipse waters or to not charge your crystals under eclipse. I don't agree with that. But You do you and see how you feel. That's going to be more important. If I'm feeling great under that moon, I'm doing that. So that is my general full moon ritual that I do every month. Moon water, gratitude, releasing. Simple. When I want to fancy it up, when I have more time, when I have more energy, whenever it is, I will sit there with a lit candle and I will still do the gratitude and releasing ritual, but I'll write them down either in my book of shadows or in my full moon worksheets. You can get a copy of those for only $10 in my website shop, and buy them once, use them forever. It's got every single zodiac sign. You just pick the one applicable. You can fill it in digitally. You can print it out, copy it out into your journal. It's up to you. It comes with a little affirmation to do with that zodiac sign as well, so you can say that. And then at the very bottom, you will have, so there's one page with the ritual and the other page has a tarot spread. So I usually do a tarot or oracle, if I'm in the mood, spread to do with that full moon in that zodiac sign. Lighting a beautiful candle, sitting there and doing it with intent, it just feels really, really nice. And it often brings some really valuable insight. So that is pretty much the extent of my full moon ritual. Now, I have seen people who will go out skyclad under the moon. I would do that if I didn't have neighbours that could very easily see into my backyard and if it wasn't cold. But I do see the appeal for sure. Like, something about moonlight on your skin is just magic. I also used to attend a full moon ritual circle. That is different. There's a different level of stuff that you do when you're in community with other people. Usually we would do a craft that was related. We would all pick a card. We would all talk about a certain theme. We would share experiences. We would stand and hold hands under the light of the moon around a fire and chant. Like, it was glorious, but I don't have that community here. I haven't found one that vibes with me, and it's pretty tricky because my husband's often away. And then I can't leave the house at night. So, because I got kids. So at the moment, and in this stage of life, I just do my own little personal one. But finding a full moon circle, if that's your vibe, is a really, really, really great way to commune with other like-minded spiritual witchy people and have a very different experience for a full moon ritual. Lastly, a lot of people do like to charge things up under the moon. You can totally do that. Careful with some crystals, because if you're placing them especially outside, they're not all water safe and there might be dew and rain and things like that. Also, if you forget about them and leave them in the sunlight, you could hurt your crystals. They can often fade, like the color will fade out of them. So just be cautious. Another question I get asked a lot is, what if I leave my full moon water out overnight? I'd like to say I've never done that, but we all know I have totally forgotten, gone to bed and woken up and gone, oh, shit. So it's fine. You're asking for the moon's blessing. It's less about, oh no, the sun touched it. Now it's sun water. You can still make sun water, but you haven't asked the sun to bless it. So it's kind of like much for muchness. Also, the moon is a reflection of the sun's light. So to me, I don't think it's a big deal. You haven't ruined your moon water, right? I try to keep it out there for half an hour to a couple of hours and bring it in. So my goal is to put it out there around about 9 o'clock and bring it in before I go to bed around midnight. That's my goal. Doesn't always work that way, and that is okay. Doesn't make me a terrible witch or any less of one, so don't stress your pretty little head. Now, as I said, I have full moon worksheets that you can download. They're on my website. I will link them below as well. Snap one up. They're really, really great, really handy and really useful. And I really hope this helps you to formulate your own personalized full moon ritual, a way of connecting in with the cycles of the moon, a way to connect in with sometimes our own bodily cycles as well. You'll notice different things. Like for me, I noticed when I started tracking the moon cycle that suddenly I was more aware of my menstrual cycle. So, you know, you get extra benefits from doing things like this and being more in tune with nature and the rhythms of nature. Also, I have this really cool thing here where I live currently in Queensland. When I go outside to do my ritual, so I'm out there in my backyard, bare feet on the damp grass, hands in the air, like, you know, la, 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 calling down my blessings. Generally, I used to think that I would accidentally frighten the bat in one of the bushes in our backyard, because then it would like, and fly straight over my head. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. It feels so witchy. But I don't actually think I'm scaring them, because I've been out there a bunch of times in the evening and they're not coming out and flying over my head every time. So when I used to presume they'd just gotten a fright and then flown out, it was cool, but less witchy, to now where I go, oh, they only do that when I'm doing a full moon ritual. Oh, cool. This is like a little bat blessing going along with my moon ritual. This is freaking witchy and amazing. So I have a little bat friend that does moon rituals with me. If you're also curious, I did in the Suburban Witches Society, I filmed me doing one of my moon rituals. I filmed a whole day, I think. Day in the life, is it that one? It must have been. I did a little video clip. It's in the like behind the scenes of my witchy practice resource section. So it's from sun up to sundown, all of the witchy beautiful things that I did in that day. And I do have a dimly lit video footage of me outside doing my moon ritual. So you can check that out. The membership is super fun. So much awesome stuff in there. All right, my loves. I will catch you on our next video. I hope you've enjoyed today's one. Definitely have a little search around on my YouTube channel. I have so many videos here now, and there's something for everyone, for anything that you're interested in the witchy scheme of things, I should say. I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world today, and I'll catch you next time.